Hello, my name is Brooke Scarborough. Today I will be applying the trans-theoretical model of change to the HIV condom use study that we were first presented with in Unit 2. I know that you all have had exposure to this theory in previous class lectures, as well as exposure to the case study. But I hope that today we can delve in a little deeper together by using this specific theory, and that you will remember the theory better in the future after seeing it in action today. Let's get started. I'll begin with a refresher of the case study in hopes that we have a more grounded understanding, and then I will continue with a detailed look at the trans-theoretical model. Finally, I will apply the model to the study and discuss if there are other models of change that are a better fit than the trans-theoretical model. The case study report is entitled Key Components in Planning, Implementing, and Monitoring a Behavior Change Communication Campaign that Increased Condom Use Among Male Clients of Sex Workers in Southern India. Authored by Dana Ward and Risha Hess, the study was funded by Avahan India AIDS Initiative of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and was carried out by Population Services International. The initiative created an intervention that was designed to, quote, reduce HIV incidence in part by increasing consistent condom use among heterosexual male commercial sex clients in southern India. An initiative like this is quite significant in India because it is home to about 10% of HIV cases in the whole world. When the study was being conducted, beginning back in 2006, that was about 2.5 million people. The study was incredibly successful and ultimately showed that from May 2006 to May 2007, an 18% increase in consistent condom usage during commercial sex. So how did Population Services International make this happen? They began by collecting survey data on health beliefs about HIV and condoms, and then organized the beliefs with regard to whether the person was a consistent or inconsistent condom user. Researchers analyzed the data and used it to create a health intervention centered on 4 health belief messages. These beliefs were communicated to the target audience through street plays, contests, and group discussions that encouraged and educated about condom usage. Now that we have briefly reviewed the study, let's look at the trans-theoretical model. The trans-theoretical model, also called Stages of Change model, was created by Prochaska and DeClement after they had evaluated many smoking cessation studies. According to our Theory at a Glance reading, the model essentially shows that, quote, behavior change is a process, not an event. The trans-theoretical model breaks down that process into 5 distinct stages, and by understanding those stages, we can better target each individual in their unique position. Other important elements of the trans-theoretical model include self-efficacy, decisional balance, and relapse. Let's break down each of these stages. The first is the pre-contemplation stage. In this stage, you have yet to make a behavior change and have no plans or intentions to change. To exit this stage, something has to happen to make you think, to make you ready to move into the next stage, which is contemplation. In the contemplation stage, one has decided that there are indeed pros to changing their behavior, and they begin to weigh these pros with the cons that they previously associated with the behavior change. In this stage, the desire to change is split fairly evenly, and the person might even think that in the future, usually in the next 6 months, that they would like to make the behavior change. The preparation stage is similar to the contemplation stage, but now the individual is making plans to make changes to their behavior within the next 30 days. In this stage, they might have even taken small steps towards changing their behavior. In the action stage, the individual has officially committed to changing their behavior and has done so for any amount of time under 6 months. In this stage, they are working hard to prevent any relapses and have goals for themselves. The maintenance stage marks 6 months or more of successful behavior change. A natural part of the stages of change is decisional balance, where one wrestles with the pros and cons of making a behavior change. This usually occurs in the early stages. One is more likely to recognize that they need to make a behavior change and have the confidence and willpower to actually take steps to make that change if they have a stronger belief in themselves or a high sense of self-efficacy. Also central to the trans-theoretical model is the idea that one can relapse and fall from the action or maintenance stages to earlier stages. For example, perhaps someone has quit smoking for more than 6 months, then has a couple of cigarettes here and there, and once again they have to prep themselves to quit again, or they stay back at square one. A person with a strong self-efficacy is less likely to have a relapse like this. The primary way I see the presence of the trans-theoretical model in the case study is the fact that the study chose interpersonal education methods to target an audience that was in a wide range of behavior change stages. Watching or engaging in a street theater performance about why it is imperative to properly use a condom every time one has sex, having a group conversation about HIV transmission, or reading a poster explaining the different locations one can get condoms are all capable of effectively communicating a health belief message. Some of the participants might have been fairly regular condom users, some might have been occasional condom users, and others might never used condoms at all. The ultimate goal of the study was to increase the number of consistent users, which we could also look at as an increase in the number of individuals in the maintenance stage, 6 months and counting, using a condom every single time they engaged in commercial sex. The health belief model assesses perceived susceptibility, perceived severity, perceived benefits, perceived barriers, cues to action, and self-efficacy. When applied to the case study, perceived susceptibility would be the degree to which an individual believes they are vulnerable to contracting HIV. Perceived severity would be related to perceptions of how severe being infected with HIV actually is. Perceived benefits refers to the potential benefits of adopting the behavior change of consistent condom usage, among these being a decreased likelihood of contracting HIV. Perceived barriers refers to the hurdles that one associates with the potential behavior change that might keep them from trying to make that change. For the study, this might be that a person finds it difficult to access condoms, or they are embarrassed to buy them. Again, here we see self-efficacy, or a strong sense of self that it's needed to confidently make a behavior change and stick to it. So we've got all of these different health beliefs here about these different elements. And so much of the initial research that was done in this study in order to develop the intervention was focused on beliefs about sex, HIV, and condoms, and all of the benefits and barriers and other perceptions associated with them. The researchers surveyed the inconsistent and consistent condom users about these health beliefs and developed the interventions based on them in order to create the program. It can be argued that without this preliminary research on the health beliefs, the intervention would not have been as successful or even successful at all. The idea of cues to action is very important to this intervention too. The cues to action could be seen as the interpersonal methods of the intervention itself. The cues are all of the educational tidbits, condoms, and other trinkets that remind the participants and observers to remember to be consistent about their health behavior change. While the trans-theoretical model is still relevant to the study, it seems to me that the health beliefs played a huge role in developing the intervention, and therefore the health belief model might be a more powerful theory in this study specifically. So ultimately, yes, the trans-theoretical model of change is an effective way to target people in their different stages of change. It is a widely useful tool in that anyone can be influenced to change their behavior at any point in their personal journey, but that being said, it is still quite possible to relapse to an earlier stage. For this reason, it is imperative that we look at the health beliefs associated with a behavior and behavior change so that we know how to best target the specific stages. Thank you all for taking the time to watch my presentation. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me. I've left my email on the slide there. The following slide has my citations. Thank you for watching.